Good morning, you gorgeous weirdos. Welcome back. Welcome if you're new. As you can see, per my last video, I did put that black on. I wore them for a week. I love this black manicure with my whole entire heart. It is the Model 1's black. I'll leave that video linked up above. And if you're wondering about the glossy top coat over it that has remained glossy and absolutely flawless for a whole week of rough wear, stay tuned because that'll be coming in my next video. I'll tell you all about it. I can't wait. Anyways, so the press-on nail stand. As you can see, I am just removing the old adhesive tabs, and that is what I use, adhesive tabs. I'll show you all the things and I'll link everything down below. I'm going to remove the old one. It just lost its stick. It did its job. It did a great job, but it's time to move on and replace them with some new ones. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all of the tabs from the nail stand. As you can see, they come off pretty easily. They do stick really well to the nail stand, which is great, but if you're doing dip powder especially, it'll lose its tack on top pretty quickly. So I'm going to take them off, and then we're going to replace them with the new tabs. These are my natural nails. I don't know why I'm showing you them, but there they are. I have nothing on my left hand right now. Actually, I have been rocking naked nails for quite a while, and I'm kind of loving it. I don't know. Do you guys ever go through a phase where you're like, my nails look nice. I don't want to cover them up. Anyways, these are the adhesive tabs that I like to use. They're from BT Art Box. In my mind, in my eyes, they are elite. I love them with my whole entire heart. I will continue to use them because I love them that much. I stick with the smallest sizes. Now I have large nail beds, so I never use my smaller sizes anyway. Depending on your nails, don't waste ones that you're actually going to use on your nails. Use ones that you will never use. If you need to cut them in half, if you want to use like the large thumb size, you totally can. I'm just going to stick this right on the nail stand with the plastic on them already. I'm going to press them down nice and firm, and then I'm going to remove that plastic film on top, and bing, bang, boom. You have a nail stand ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these on the rest of the nail stands exactly the same way. And then I'm going to give you a couple of tips and tricks about how to use them. So I finished up the application of the tabs. Here they are. Now here's a little trick for you guys. I like to let mine sit overnight because I feel like they just bond over a little bit of time. So if you can prep them the night before, perfectly fine. They're gonna do way better than trying to put your press-on tips on right now. They might stick to your tips when you take them off, and they'll come off the nail stand. But if you let them sit overnight and just chill for a night, they're going to be bonded to your nail stand and they won't come off. You'll have extra good adhesion and your press-ons will be more secure on them. These are the extensions that I like to use. These are by Gella. As you can see, I label all of my little spots so I know what's what. Because if you're like me, you're going to forget. You're going to forget. I have all my passwords stored somewhere so I don't forget any of them because I will never remember all my passwords. I can't remember phone numbers anymore. I feel like smartphones have made me stupid. But anyway, I like to label them so I know always what sizes I need. And all I'm going to do is prep these for application. Now you can prep these in 100 different ways depending on your own personal preference. What I like to do for my press-ons, I will just take a nail file, an old nail file. This is one I only use on extensions, and I will just file off that little nub at the front and make sure the shape is what I want it to be. These are pretty well shaped. They're coffin square, like a tapered square almost. I like them to be really crisp. I like sharp edges. I don't know. It's always been my thing. I need sharp edges on my long nails. So I'm going to file them into the perfect square for me. I'm just going completely perpendicular, parallel. to the free edge of the nail with the nail file, making them the shape that I want, getting rid of that little nubbin, and then that is it. If you want to go ahead and buff over the top of the nail, make it nice and matte, you totally can. If you're doing dip powder, I'd probably recommend it, but if you're doing gel polish over these, the gel polish actually adheres really nicely to the extensions. So I would say it's unnecessary, but again, personal preference. There is one nail that I need to customize a little bit. The pinky nails are always a little too square for my cuticle area. So I'm gonna take my file again and simply round out the corners of that pinky nail, and then it will be perfectly fit to my pinky. Once this is done, I'm gonna take a buffing block, buff out all of the little fraggly bits that are left after you file, and that is it. No more prep. I don't need to do anything else. Just stick them on the nail stand and we're ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And when I come back, I'm going to show you the inspo pic that I was sent from my moderator. And I'm going to show you what I came up with. Although you probably already saw from the thumbnail, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So I went ahead and gloved myself because safety first, and now we're going to get into the nail art. This is the photo that Amy, my moderator, sent me and said I need to do a manicure based on this photo. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start off with white. I'm using gel polish. This is white chalk by DND. If you wanted to use dip powder, you totally can. You don't need to do anything that I'm doing with gel. You can do this all with dip powder, and I'll explain that kind of process as we go, how you might do it with dip powder. But y'all know me, I kind of prefer gel when it comes to these kind of things. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and matte out this nail. I'm going to use a matte top coat that, again, I will tell you about in my next video, but wait till you see how matte this is. It is sickening. Like, it's matte. It's matte matte. Now, if you know anything about white manicures with a matte gel top coat, you know that it gets dirty very quickly. It stains. And we're going to use that to our advantage because we're going to stain it. I'm going to take a dip powder. It's kind of like a tealish type dip powder. This one's from Revel. I'll leave it linked down below along with everything else. I know I said that like 3 times already, but we're going to use this dip powder and do kind of like an aura type thing. I'm only going to put this in the center of the nail and kind of ombre it out a little bit. I'm using a eyeshadow brush. I am kind of scrubbing this in. I'm not using a heavy hand. It's pretty gentle. Once I get it as concentrated as I want, I'm going to dust off excess and we're going to move on to the next step. So we're going to do some cute little starburst. That photo kind of looked like a night sky vibe, so we're going to do a couple of little starburst. I'm using the white chalk again. You don't have to use gel polish for this. You can use acrylic paint. You can use regular nail polish, whatever your preference is. You can use stamping polish, whatever. And I'm going to take a dotting tool. I'm going to get a couple of little dots on the nail that I'm going to turn into starbursts. And they are so easy to do. This is some of my favorite nail art ever because it looks so cute. But I'm going to show you how to really make it pop here in a minute. I'm going to take my liner brush and a little bit of gel polish, and I'm going to just drag that dot out on all 4 sides. So I'm going to drag the top out, the bottom out, and then either side very gently. You want a super light hand when you're doing this, otherwise your lines are going to look very blocked out and not starbursty, if you will. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for the other little dot, and then I'm going to show you a little trick to really make that pop. So I went ahead and cured that for 30 seconds. Now I'm going to take some gel base coat and mix that in with that white to get a very, very light milky white color. And this is going to go right over that center dot, and it's just going to make that starburst look like it's glowing. It is so easy and so beautiful. It just gives it that little something extra. I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds, and then we're going to do a little Bob Ross happy tree moment. I'm going to use this color from D&D. I think it's called Walnut something. I don't know. And any brown. You can use any brown you want. You don't have to do trees. You can do whatever makes your heart happy, but I was feeling happy little trees, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a liner brush. Again, you don't need very many tools for this. And I'm going to, if you try to use a very thin liner brush, by the way, you don't want a very thick, heavy liner brush, super thin. And again, with the lightest touch, I'm going to make a very crooked line. It kind of reminds me a little bit of marble or like a lightning bolt, but this is going to be our tree. And I'm going to make a couple of bigger branches, and then I'm going to make a couple of smaller branches coming off of the larger branches. You cannot mess this up. If you have a shaky hand, even better, because your tree branches should not be perfect. They're not going to be straight. They're going to be janky and crooked and weird looking, and that is exactly what you want. You can use as many branches or as few branches as you like. This is your art, so make it exactly the way you want it. Once you have it the way you want it, you're going to want to cure it for 30 seconds. Lock that in place before we move on to the next step, which will be the last step. I decided to take it a step extra, and I'm going to throw in some little clusters of flowers, if you will. I was going for kind of like a cherry blossom type thing. I don't know. I just felt like it needed some flowers. So I'm going to take the same white gel polish and make clusters of 3. And that's it. Just sporadic here and there. I didn't want to add too many, just a few, 1 or 2 on each branch, and that's it. Then I'm going to cure this again for a full 30 seconds, and we're going to throw a matte top coat over it again, and that's going to be it. So here's what the nail looks like out of the lamp, completely matte. I am literally obsessed. I love this matte top coat. I love this nail art. I love the inspo. I decided to do the rest of the nails in that same walnut brown color. So here's the full set. I feel like with an accent nail like this, you don't need to go crazy with the other nails. Here is the set completely installed. I couldn't be more in love. These are so perfect for fall. I don't know where this rogue glitter came from. It must have been somewhere on my nail desk, but we're going to get rid of that with a little bit of alcohol. And this is the final look. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know down below. Give me a thumbs up so I know you liked it. I hope the rest of your day is as beautiful as you are, and I will catch you in the next one. Love you. Bye.